Good evening and welcome to tonight's race here in Division 4 at the Chinese GP in Shanghai. First run in 2004 with the winner of the inaugural race being Rubens Barrichello in the Ferrari. Of course, moving to the current championship leader in his Ferrari as well, the Vicar, coming out second last week. Finishing behind Billy G, who dominated the race at some points, but eventually fell to a 6-second lead in the end. Which on terms of penalties led to a 3-second win. As well, he currently is P2 in the championship. Vicar leads on 111 points, closely followed by 3 points behind is Billy G in the Aston Martin, who is followed by his teammate as well, SFR Doran. Both of them, all three drivers have been swapping wins and podiums throughout the season, with Aston Martin currently leading the Constructors' Championship by 14 points over the two Ferraris. And that is, at the minute, a couple of cars out on track, and it's a dry running tonight in qualifying compared to the absolute torrential rain we got the week before. Brass Monkeys will be the first car to cross the line. He'll be followed by Smooth Operator in the Williams, the Haas. Readouts coming to a good result last weekend. Of course, I was pronouncing his name wrong all season. However, I have now fixed it thanks to himself coming to me and telling me, which I do thank for that. He comes through to the hairpin now. We've seen many iconic dive bombs and failed dive bombs here as well. We had, of course, a couple of seasons ago, last season, in real life, we had Stroll hitting the back of Ricciardo and Tsunoda, causing the two to retire. Of course, entering the pits there, Smooth Operator. We've seen a couple of crashes in there, famously Lewis Hamilton, who lost the championship through the pit lane after locking up on the tyres, going into the gravel, getting stuck, and at the end of his championship run that year, of course, having issues in Brazil, which eventually fully lost in the championship, but it could have been wrapped up in Shanghai. Purple sector 1 for Brass Monkeys, first across the line through that 24 through the first sector. Using a lot of ERS through there. It's a very long left, and it's a big sweeping section of these next two corners. There's a car in the pit lane there. You can just see a very long left leading into a long right. Quickly on the brakes for a double left-hander. You don't want to touch the curbs too hard, and very narrow curbs as well. If you go too wide, they just kind of suck you out. Do the curbs around here. And again, another long, just keeps going. You want to get on the power, it just keeps going and going and going and going and going, and just constantly till you eventually there, and down the straight you will go, and about halfway down you will open a DRS, getting an extra 10-ish kilometers an hour, 15 kilometers an hour, bad looks of it, and into the braking zone now. Heavy braking point, you'll charge a bit of ERS through that. You want to get a good exit though, to set you up through to the final corner, which is a 90-degree, very quick left-hander, medium speed-ish corner, fourth gear, leading to a DRS zone. Very easy to go very wide there. 33.8 for him off the bat. The Silver Fox and Readouts will be next across the line. Readouts with the fastest lap, 32.9. At the minute, Preb is up to have another go at it. It'll be a 32.7, 32.4. Dan has just set there as there's a Alpha Tauri, it was a Mercedes crossing the line with a 32.3 and a 31.9 for Billy G. I'm losing my bearings here. There's an Alpine of Alex Haig going there, and Doran will be the last one over the line for this first lot here, and then it'll be followed by John Mobes as well. It's going to be a 32.6 for Doran. John Mobes, P11 in the Ferrari, hasn't set a lap yet, coming around the final corner now. You can see he just wants to go out there to the edge, and he's going to go for the 32.2, 3 tenths off of the pole time, two-ish tenths off of the pole time. It's basically a 32, 31.997. Of course, very, very late-ish lap time in the 31s there. By technicality a 31, and he's about 2.5 tenths off over John Mobes, who's currently P4 in the championship after having multiple poles and a couple of mistakes here and there. Of course, pole in Mexico. I believe he made contact with his teammate in that race, and in Hungaroring he definitely made contact with his teammate, ended up airborne after getting squeezed by himself and Billy G through to turn 2. Heading down into the hairpin now. That was nice by Dylan Vince. A little wide though, possibly. Compromising his exit. There's a Mercedes in the background. That should be Dom coming around the final corner. Tentative was the V-carb. It's going to be a 33.5 for him. The Vicar coming around middle of sector 2 at the minute. Just heading through the long sweepers there, and you want to keep to the right while under braking, which can cause spins on the rear if you are not running ABS and running low enough on the brake on the brake bias. Coming out to exit and nice and good for him. ERS is quite high, of course. You want to save it for the massive straight at the very end of the circuit, and you just see it open up, and you'll see the DRS open up as well as he heads down. You can just see the length of the straight. If I'm not wrong in saying, it may be the longest straight in Formula 1, maybe actually beaten by Baku, the main straight there, if you don't technically count the corners. As he heads around the hairpin now, he's used, again, not much ERS, he's saving quite a bit of it. Through the final corner he'll come. Nice and good by him there, using the maximum amount of track. For him it's a 32.5 to start off the session. Readouts on a charge lap, followed by, he's following his teammate currently. Coming through the final corner, actually no, he will dive into the pit lane. There used to be gravel there, of course. Pastor Maldonado being the latest person in Formula 1 history to ever get stuck there, before it was removed in 2016. Plenty of mistakes have been made around the track, and where Red Bull and Mercedes both got their maiden wins in Formula 1. We'll be seeing maiden win tonight in Division 4 for Dom or Alex Haig, possibly Dan getting another Division 4 win under his belt, not this season. In previous seasons, I believe he may have had one. Seems to be a car coming out of the pits. That looks like it may be an Alpine. No, it wasn't. It was Doran, the Aston Martin. Just coming around saying, when I get, that's the thing with this track, it's just so long. The understeer is insane following another car, and it can cause a lot of issues on worn tyres, and even in the wet can cause a lot of issues. As he comes out now on his second outlap of the session, as we reach about halfway through this the qualifying. Don't want to be taking it too flat through these corners. It can scrub the tyres just a bit and cause some percentage issues. Not percentage issues, sorry, worn issues on the tyres. Coming through to the final sector now is Doran. He, in that Aston Martin, has already had a pole position this season. Hasn't capitalised on it. I don't believe he has a win this season yet, but he is still up there in the championship. He may have won the first race. Oh, there, he's in the wall. He's hit the grass on the other side of the track, and has ended up in the wall on his outlap, and he will have to pit, and that is a set of tyres lost in this session, possibly, as Preb will take over the mantle of the next driver across the line. Coming around into turn 1 now is Preb, the longest turn 1. You want to have a wideish entry, double apex kind of corner as it comes round through turn 1 now, heading to turn 2. Early apex for that one. As it comes out nice and easy there, just heading through now to turn 4, the end of the first sector. It's the hairpin, it's a struggle to get through there sometimes, and it can always be a bit of an issue for some drivers. Dan will overtake him. It looks like Preb has abandoned the lap after missing the apex. Dan keeping it tight through the middle portion of the lap now. Double left-hander, you just don't stop turning for that corner. It's kind of like Zolder, if anyone has actually raced there, through turn 2 and 3. You come out of turn 2 nice and wide, and you just can't stop turning, otherwise you will not make the corner at all through that one. And again, it's older later on the circuit after the second chicane, where it's a very flat one. Kind of come through a right-hander, can't really straighten it up, go through to the right again, and up the hill you go into the final sector of the track. Speaking of the final sector, Dan has entered the stadium here in Shanghai. He comes out of the penultimate corner and flies around the final corner there, nice and easy for him. It's going to be a 32.2. It's going to go to P3 on the leaderboard at the minute. Dom is close behind though, looking to jump above him again. At the final corner, a little slide on the curb was the Mercedes. It's going to go to P2 with a 32.108. Just 11 hundredths off of the Aston Martin. There, John Mobes next up goes to provisional pole with a 131.769. And it was a nice lap for John Mobes by the looks of it. 3/10 improvement for him. And he moves to provisional pole. Doran on his outlap. Still on in the pits is Billy G. He's going to be coming out at the final runs. Coming round the final corner now. Dylan Vince to set his lap. He's going to go 1.5 tenths up. He stays in P11 for now. John Mobes on his in lap as well there. Doran starting his lap through turn 1 now. Again, late apex, like double apex corner by the looks of it. Like I remember Turkey turn 8, 4 apexes, or kind of 4 corners through one. Is turn 8 there? One of the best tracks in Formula 1 history is Turkey. A lot of drivers do like this track as well. It was made by Hermann Tilke. Of course, opened in 2004, which I already mentioned, won by Rubens Barrichello in that dominating Ferrari season. Little bit of a moment there for Doran by the looks of it, entering the corner. May have made a slight mistake, could have caused a bit of understeer for him, but it looks all good for now. Comes through the end of the second sector now. And you want to brake just before the 100 there. Just at the 100 probably is best heading through. Long corner. You just want to keep it going, keep it flat, and you just edges out, and you get scared to lift, and you want to lift, but you just got to keep your foot in and keep it going until the edge of the track just runs out. And Doran doing really well there. He brakes for the hairpin now. DRS slams shut for the Aston Martin. Coming round now. Final corner, turn 16 now. He will go dive into the pit lane. Clearly not improving on his lap time, and will go for one last blast. Improving on his lap time is the Vicar, who's currently 0.5 tenth up through the first sector, as we'll get another time in the next corner now. He will be going through sector 2 now, 1.5 tenths up. Purple sector 2 for him. He's nearly a second off of the pole time at the minute, maybe on a race or wet setup possibly. If there is a wet race coming up. We of course had Austria in the wet, we had Spa qualifying in the wet. Austria was an interesting one, it was wet. Started on the intermediates, the Vicar of course having contact through turn 1 in that race. Started on the intermediates, went dry almost instantly, and then at the very end turned wet again. The Vicar however came P3 in that race, I believe. In the Ferrari, may have been validated through the final corner though, kept it clean. He's going to go to P4 though, even running out of deploy. He improves the lap time and jumps ahead of Dan, Alex and Doran. As Billy G and John starting their 2 final laps of the session. John just coming out the pits, Billy heading through turn 1. They may actually come together on the track here possibly. Which would be an interesting one to see. Of course, you're not allowed to block. at all, or I'm not even sure you can give. You're not allowed to give the toe if you're on a quali ban, which I have been guilty of myself. I'll admit to that. And I did get the punishment for it, of course. No improvement through Sector 1 for Billy G. Doesn't look to be pushing that hard. It may just be the size of the circuit, one of the widest circuits in Formula 1. It was designed for racing by Hermann Tilke. Some of his tracks weren't the best, however. He is one of the most famous track designers for a reason. He made Turkey, made Malaysia, made China as well, heading up through now. 2/10 down is Billy G. We may see a back off here. We have seen a back off here. He's going to go for it on the very final run of the session. The Vicar is charged up for one more run, possibly Alex Haig. Who's coming round now, making a nice toe from Billy G there. Heading down to the 10-15 hairpin. The break. There we go, in between the 100 and the 150. Really late on the brakes there was Alex Haig. Managed to get the car stopped in turn though. Really impressive by the Alpine. He comes around the corner now. That sausage curve on the inside can wash you out wide quite often enough, and it's going to be a no improvement for Alex Haig. He stays P6. We may not see an improvement in the final run. We'll see one with Silver Fox 3.5 tenths up through Sector 2 so far. As he heads down now to the hairpin there, he's got two cars behind him, Dom and Dylan Vince in the V-Carb and Mercedes there. One of them may have to back off there, as it would be Dylan Vince who would have to back off. He will get a horrible wash of understeer throughout the lap now. Silver Fox moves to P9 there, nice lap for him. John Mobes up now, trying to extend that pole time, 1.5 tenths up through Sector 2. May see an improvement in this final sector if he improves the hairpin and final corner. Yeah, he exits through the hairpin now, diving through. It's going to be for John Mobes. Will he extend that pole set time? He will extend the provisional pole time of a 31.5. Billy G next up though, no improvement for him so far. Will we see one in the final two corners? A all-out push for the Aston Martin now to claim another pole position this season. He's backed off. He will not get the pole position. He is into the pit lane. And will we see Doran steal it off of John Mobes? For Doran, it's going to be P6. Alex Haig follows behind. No improvement for him. 11 seconds down was Alex Haig there. Dan up 1.5 tenths. Looking to jump the Vicar, possibly Dom. Through the final corner, it'll be for Dan now. It will be P5. A loss of time through the final corners. Predm up to P4 there. He's jumped 5 tenths through the final sector. What a lap for him. Dom, no improvement. Dylan Vince there, 3.5 tenths up. Getting a nice toe from the Mercedes. Coming around the final corner now is the V-Carb, and it's going to be for the the V-Carb there. It's going to be P9 for Dylan, and Silver Fox into the pits will be the last on the track. John Mobes taking home a third pole position of the season. He'll be hoping to convert this one into a win tonight. Billy GP2 looking to get another win under his belt. He's in 2 in a row at the minute. Can he go for the 3-peat? At the minute, Dom P3. Good lap time for him. Preb in P4, followed by the Vicar in P5 and Dan in P6. Doran low down, uncharacteristically for him. He's been quite consistently in the top 5 this season. Alex Haig in P8, Dylan Vince in P9. Silver Fox in P10 to round off your top 10 here tonight. We'll pick up from P10. It will be Redoubts in P11, Brass Monkeys, all Haas 6th row there, and all Williams 7th row in P13 and 14 after no time set from either of them. And this could get an interesting race, of course. Drop your predictions in the comments of who you think's going to win, who you think may be the driver today, who may have a surprising performance tonight, and your obvious podium predictions. I'm going to go with a John Mobes win tonight, followed by Dom and Billy in P2 and P3. And it will be Vicar in P4, I believe, all dry tonight in China. Always a chance at rain on this circuit, but no rain tonight. And we'll see now who does come out on top. I believe it will be a medium to hard strategy, maybe the optimum one tonight. Possible, of course, the alternate hard to medium is always the option. And you can always swap around the strategy. Medium hard, hard medium. Hard soft will be an absolute mastermind to pull that off, an absolute tyre whisperer to get that one done, which I don't believe we will see tonight. I don't think we'll see it any time throughout the week. And hopefully no safety cars again tonight. We've had a grand total of 0 safety cars this entire season in Division 4. Completely cleaned by all the drivers. And really consistent by a lot of the drivers as well. Formation lap gets underway now. John Mobes leads them down to turn 1. He will be on the mediums to get that better getaway, followed by Billy on the hard. And they're the only two medium runners throughout the entire field. It looks to be a hard medium strategy for everyone but Dom and John. He will be running a medium to hard, I presume, and a hard medium for everyone else on the grid. Hard soft again will take an absolute miracle to pull off, and a possible safety car will be needed for that one. A definite safety car will be needed for that one, actually. Possibly a late safety car during the pit window, or just an early safety car to keep those the tyres fresh and not very worn. It looks like there's a car spun on the formation lap. That looks to be Silver Fox on the hard. He's had a alright qualifying P10 for him. He's looking to jump Dylan through to turn 1, but with hot tyres like that after a spin, maybe a little optimistic to get on the power too early. Of course, China being one of the easiest tracks to spin in my experiences, but that may also be just a skill issue on my end, which does happen quite a lot in my defence. See them all weaving down the straight to get temp into those tyres. Hopefully no one spins like Doran did on his outlapping qualifying. Of course, damage is off for the formation lap, no matter what. So if there was indeed a crash, everyone would be okay. No damage done to the cars. Just a little bit more worn tyres heading into the start as they come around the final corner. All of them are going to be filing round now. And we'll see them come through and start to line up for, as there's a car off there actually, that looks to be Alex Haig in the gravel. As they all come round and set the grid. John Moves with a poor slot there. He's been disqualified there actually, and that may affect him into turn 1. Silver Fox disqualified too. Cannot see a single light down there, but it's green in China. Couldn't see anyone get away well there. Poor camera by the F1 game there. Dom through to turn 1. He's going to take the lead. Turn 2. P2, sorry. In this race off the inside goes Dan in the Alpine. He's followed by Dylan in P8 there. Doran is around his outside. And he's going to chuck it up the inside. 3 wide possibly there. Dylan in the gravel. Couple cars off. Dylan is round. And down to P14. John Mope still leads him away. Dom's up the inside though. The 2 mediums getting a good getaway there. And Dom looking to take the lead of the race. It'll be outside through turn 6. He's not going to get it done there. But John goes wide. Oh, nearly contact between the two. Heading through the S's of China there. Preb already a second off on those hards. Billy just hanging on, waiting for them to come into life. Vicker with a good start there to P5. Dan in P6. Doran stays in the same position. Alex Hay goes to P8 as they all head through sector 2 cleanly. No contact so far. The Vicar all over Preb, looking to get that move done into the hairpin now. He's going to get a bit of a run out the final. Onto the main straight there, and he's going to get it done. Nice and simple for him. There's a McLaren that he's straight away into the toe. Is Preb. We may see a dive bomb there. Will we see a pull out? No, he's just going to pull back into the DRS. Billy G and Dom going for a battle there. May have made contact actually as John Moves has escaped the DRS now within the lap. Dom going a bit wide there, may pick himself up one, and 38.6 is the fastest lap off of the start. For now, Preb still there on the Vicar. Dan just holding on as well, and Alex looking to chase that gap down into a overtaking window. Through sector 1 again, it's Preb just holding on for that DRS. DRS of course now enabled. There. Coming through now to the end of sector 2. Dom going a bit wide there. That's going to open up Billy G to get the move done into the braking zone. He's going to give the DRS to Dom here by the looks of it. No, he's going to lift off. Dom going extremely wide there though. He's going to let the Vicar back there as Billy G is looking to chase down that gap for another race win opportunity. Lap 2 of 28, about to be lap 3. Preb nowhere near DRS. Vicar just pulling out for now. It's going to be a dive bomb for Dom into the hairpin. He's going to go up the inside and he's going to get that move done well before the braking zone. Billy G with the switch back there though, gets the move right back off him. Dom's still alongside into the final corner, backs out into turn 16. Little slide on exit though as well. John moves 35.5 fastest lap, 2.2 seconds now is the gap. He's over a second a lap faster at the minute than the Aston Martin, who will of course take the lead of the championship if results will stay the same, but I doubt they will 25 laps from now. Division 3 is up and running now, I believe, in qualifying stage. The exact same track, of course, with Energy Dan leading the championship, if I'm not mistaken, on that one. Coming around the S's now, just waiting for an overtake to be done. Like it's more of a train a lot of the time. I do stand mistaken, it's Prebelli who is leading the championship in Division 3. He's followed by Dan in P2 and Stank in P3. President Lee in P4 as well. Cassidy in P5 in Division 3. Back to our race in Division 4 here. Not much going on. It's a quiet-ish track for now. They're all just in this massive DRS train. Dan looking to get the move done on Preb, and he gets that move done well before the braking zone gets the move. And up into P5, Dan chasing down another podium for the second consecutive week there in the Alpine. After picking up his first of the season there, Doran down to P10. He's not enjoying this race whatsoever. John Mobes with another fastest lap of the race. He's 2.5 seconds now over Billy G. Those mediums really working for him at the minute. Doran's being forced to the outside by Brass Monkeys. Will he get it done? Into turn 1, he's going to go around the outside and get that move well done before the proper braking zone for that corner. He's now chasing down Silver Fox in P8, looking to just salvage a couple of points. I don't believe this is a good track for Doran, who is seemingly struggling in P9 at the minute. Not too sure if he did have contact there, however. Billy G looking to pull that gap in. He has a decent bit through the first 2 sectors. He's 4/10 up on John Mobes through this sector. Dan has left the session in P5. He's disconnected, and that is extremely unlucky on the Alpine end, as he was looking strong in P5 there and looking to move ahead of the Vicar. But that disconnect has completely thrown his race well out of order. Dom out of DRS now. He is under pressure from the Vicar. As we speak of the Vicar there, it's nearly a second there Billy G's pulled in on John in the Ferrari lead. There may see a Vicar Billy G fight tonight, the first one of them this season, which I'm sure it'll be the first of many throughout this, which could be a brilliant championship fight. As Doran splits the 2 Hasses at the minute. There's still battles going on up and down the field, as maybe in a poor lap there for Johnny. He's lost a second. Doran up the inside, gets the move. Stunny's still there, possibly no, he's backed out of it. His Brass Monkeys. Readout's there, trying to get his teammate. Readout's on the back of his teammate in the Haas there. We may see a dive bomb in to the first hairpin of the circuit. No, just poor weather in the UK may affect the quality of the stream, which I do apologise for. Billy G is still trying to chase it down. Vicar will get this move done on Dom soon enough. The hards may be coming into the better tyre now, as there we go, the Vicar first penalty of the race goes to Smooth Operator in the Williams. Here comes the Vicar. He's going to come through to the hairpin now and will take the P3 off of Dom. No, he's going to pull out of it. Dom goes deep and he's going to gift the position to the Vicar. No, he's going to fight it all the way to the corner as the Vicar. He's playing it smart, causing offlines for Dom, maybe causing warnings for Dom. He's going to get the DRS again. He's going to be forced to the outside by the Mercedes and into turn 1. It's going to be just the Vicar who takes the P3 for now. Possibly seeing a fight back by Dom in the next couple of corners. Silver Fox passes Dan, who's still DC'd from the session. Doran trying to pull it out of DRS range on Brass Monkeys. Hasn't done it just yet. Maybe doing it soon enough though. There we go, round. It's a good race for Preb so far as well. Good qualifying by him. Currently sat in P5. Dom still on the back of the Vicar. Dom looking to pick up the pieces is the Vicar. Possibly, if there is any mistakes is there. We'll see, coming down the main straight, Dom doesn't get the DRS on the Vicar, however. It will be Billy G looking to fight for this race win at the minute. Coming around the final corner, he's just out of DRS. Is Dom just out of DRS? Is Billy? And Redoubt is still scrapping with his teammate down the order. Heading into the hairpin is letting the Williams of Smooth Operator. Smoth Operator? I'm not too sure how to say it. The Williams of Operator is there in P12. Doran getting past Dan there up to P8. Dan still disconnected from the session. It's a huge shame for him, running so highly he was in this race. P5 doing a superb job tonight. Smooth Operator Dylan Vince swapping positions there. Down in P12 and P13. Little battle going on here, possibly between those two. And it's a full disconnect for Dan, and that is a shame for him. And I'll see if I may be able to get you an invite through here. Let me check that now. Really quick, invite to game. So hopefully there's no battles going on down the massive straight there. Down invite is sent, mate. Billy G on the back, DRS is there on him, on John, and no move done yet. He's just biding his time, waiting for those tyres to go even further off now. Is Billy G maybe, or just trying to force a mistake, put the pressure on the Ferrari. And we will see what happens between those two in the next couple of laps. We will obviously cover it there. Heading through turn 1 and 2, Billy G on the back of John there. He's going to try and go for it into the hairpin. Possibly he pulls out and pulls back in. Maybe faking a move to cause a mistake from John, or just to... It's a bit bully tactics. I mean, I know I'm quite famous for that, and I'm not one to call people out on it. I think it's a good move to have in your arsenal, but just don't use it that often as it can backfire on you massively if you're not good at pulling it off, which I was not in my plenty of mistakes. Billy G still on that DRS there of John. And just coming around these final couple corners of the lap. DRS is there, there's yellows, that is for Preb. He's falling down the order as a spin there. Silver Fox promoted up to P6, Alex Haig to P5, and Dan has rejoined the session, and that's good to see. And he will return to his into his car in P12, possibly P13 in this race, and a good little fight back will be on for him, which can be quite fun. John and Billy still just keeping behind. Billy's just sitting behind for now, which I'm a bit shocked to see, really. I think you should go for the move, try and get past, pull out of the gap on the Vicar, who of course the championship fight is with. You don't want to give him the ground on you. But, yeah. Billy's still there, still trying to force the mistake. John just covers him every time. He's calling his bluff a lot of the time as well. So you just come through the middle sector. You're not going to see a move through here. We did see one by Billy, but that was due to a mistake from Dom, as they both went late onto the brakes into this next corner. Dom went a bit wide, letting the Vicar into the DRS on himself, and eventually lost the DRS on Billy, losing the chance at a possible podium there. The gap's now 3.5 seconds there between Vicar and Dom. Speaking of gaps, it's less than a second, less than 5 tenths, less than 2 tenths, and it's not for Billy G, who's going to take the lead of the race in Shanghai. John still fighting there, and late on the brakes as Billy gets it done. John going for the switchback on him. Doesn't get it done. And Billy G takes the lead in the race, but makes a huge mistake out the final corner, and does let John straight back through. And that is going to slow them down a decent bit. Dom first into the pit lane. Blinks first in the strategy. He'll move down a couple positions. Brass Monkeys is off by the looks of it too. He rejoined. It's Readout, sorry, who's off there. What happened to him, I wonder? He went quite far off the track. Dom falling down the order now. He'll come out the pits behind Brass Monkeys. Car exiting pit lane there. Nearly contact possibly there now. Down up to P7 again already on the comeback. Net P8 overall, of course, with the pit stop still to come. Dom behind them on the track, and Alex Haig now has a 10-second gap to the Vicar. Vicar's in nice clean air. He won't be for much longer, closing in on John and Billy for this race win as we reach quarter distance in this race. Over a third of this race gone, over a quarter of this race gone, of course. Along with that, Prebz made another mistake at the exact same corner. You can see on the map. As I don't want to miss, if there is a battle for the lead here, I would cut to it. I do apologise for that. However, it's just, you don't want to miss a battle for the lead, or an overtake for the lead, for that matter. And here we go through turn one. It's going to be Billy G. He's going to go up to the inside. He's going to fake to the outside. Doesn't commit to it. He's going to hit the curb. Here's the Aston Martin, and he's not going to get it done. However, he'll have to get it done soon enough as Vicar is closing in. Not even quickly. He's just edging his way forward, and he's going to get it through into DRS range right about now. And that 2 second lead over him has quickly evaporated when you make a mistake out the final corner and let the opposition come straight back through. Will tend to happen. John Mobes may be pitting soon enough. It'll be 17 laps on those hards at that point. Silver Fox making a mistake of letting Dorn into the fighting range of him, overtaking range on the McLaren. Come round a long right-hander past the grandstand on the outside, always empty is that grandstand. Billy G is going to get the move now done into the hairpin this time. No mistake about it. He's going to just get it done. Avoid a switchback possibly. John's going to stick it to the outside. He's going to go for that switchback. Not going to get it done. Got to be careful of his teammate, of course. Preb down at the same corner. 3 laps on the road. There we go. John Mobes into the pits. Billy G doesn't get DRS. The Vicar, however, does, and will pull right back in to Billy G now. And John will pit onto the hard tyre. And that'll be a 17 lap stint for him. On the offset tyres is John. He's going to try and gain the gap over Billy and the Vicar, who will both be on the mediums when they come off the pit lane, or possibly the softs if they do feel risky enough to go for it, which one of them may be. We will see later on in the race. It will be in the next six laps. We'll start seeing the hard runners come in before lap 18. Then I believe it crosses into soft territory. Dan passing Silver Fox as Preb becomes our first DNF of the session in the pit lane. Shame to see him out the race after a great qualifying for him. And there's always next week for him. After a good qualifying there and just a couple mistakes here and there, he drops out of the running of this race. The Vicar still there, pushing, just no move up the inside, no avenue up the inside just yet. A very smart, wise driver is the Vicar. He just knows when to make the overtake. He's very experienced, of course. One of the older members of SFR. And a great driver. I believe he may be actually the oldest member of SFR. And a very wise driver. A very quick driver on his day as well. As he's chasing down another win in this season at the minute. He's not up that inside just yet. Not uncommon through there. Ow. As he heads through that middle sector behind, of course, he's going to be pulling through with a lot of dirty air there. Is the Vicar, which can cause a drop in, a big drop in downforce, and possibly a drop in, well, it's going to cause a drop in performance. It may cause a mistake from him, but all clean by him so far. He'll take the lead into the hairpin possibly, and we'll cover that once it comes to it. We'll see. Heading down to the hairpin, the Vicar's still there, not there now. He's into the lead of the race. Here's the Vicar, and quite comfortably before the DRS zone is he in the lead of the race. And no scrap at the minute with Billy G, who's going to try and fight it back down the next couple straights. He's going to get a decent exit there. Dylan picking up his first 3 seconds of the race. He's going to be forced to the outside. The Vicar taking a very defensive line into turn 1, not letting him sweep right round. As he started very defensive, kind of pulled it over slowly as Billy G got closer and closer. Outside line is more favourable through turn 1 in my opinion, with it being a long sweeping corner. You want to take the one with the maximum speed, of course. You want to be on the inside a lot of the time for hairpins or corners alike, but when it's a sweeper like that, you want to be on the outside, carry as much speed and just slingshot past the opponent, which we see quite often in a lot of leagues and a lot of races. Not just yet in this race. Dan has moved behind John Mobes now, who's trying to pass Doran in P4. I stand corrected when I say Doran was having a poor race. He's up to P4 now. Still yet to pit, with Dom and John behind, who have pitted, of course, and Readouts and Smooth Operator both on the mediums now, lap 14. They're going to have to do half the race on those tyres. John coming through now. He's going to get it well before the DRS point is John Mobes. And Doran just letting him go. Nice and smart. And he may have picked himself up a bit of DRS there as well. He is not, actually. But it was a good idea, in my opinion, to try and get that done, as the Vicar and Billy G still fighting there through turn 1 again. He's took the idea, slingshotted around the outside, and Billy G takes the lead of the race once again in Shanghai. As we reached halfway distance now, Doran dives into the pit lane. He's the first of the hard runners on in the top 10 to pit there. Readouts and Operator have both already pit, of course. He should drop behind the Haas and the Williams in P11. Possibly P10 if he gets out quick enough. No, it'll be P11 for Doran. And speaking of Readouts, nice move by him into the hairpin past the Williams for P12 at the minute. The Vicar just waiting now for that DRS point down into the hairpin. And he'll get this done with ease well before the breaking point. This will be, he's already alongside before the DRS is even enabled, and it will be the Vicar taking the lead of the race again. And he moves up and will lead possibly into the pit lane here, as pit window has opened for the mediums. Doran case in point first in out of this lead kind of group. Nothing there for both of them. They're staying out. Alex Haig may pit. Dom passed into P7 there. And Billy G not close enough to fight it through turn 1. Alex Haig may be into the pit. Top P3 at the minute is Alex Haig. He will pit and will concede the position to John, who moves back into P3 and chasing down the 2 in front. 17 seconds it will be for him. And we'll see how long it takes for a pit, for a pit lane, to be exact, actually. And we'll notice now. Come on, the pit. It'll be Brass Monkeys heading up into top 5 now. Dom, they're in P4, 5 seconds off of John. May actually come out ahead of Billy G and the Vicar. And those two may have to fight through 2 cars there, being Dom and John, for the win. Both of them will be on the mediums as everyone's starting to pit now. Big lump of drivers into the pit lane. And Vicar, pulling out of the DRS, may have actually dropped Billy out of the DRS there. He didn't. You can just see the rear wing fly open. You can see the bank in there. It just kind of slingshot you on the outside. Does the track, and it's always good to see. And you can see the Ferrari come down, and that's the gap they have in the lead at the minute over John. As the Vicar, first out of these two to pit in this race, he dives in. Lap 17 has begun now, and that'll be Billy G. He's looking to go a bit more of an offset over the Vicar. On the mediums now, and you'll see the gap that the Vicar has actually dropped behind John Mopes. He may actually drop behind Dom. We'll see now. Does Dom pull out? It'll be yes, he will. And the Mercedes of Dom will take P3 over the Vicar, but will have to defend for 11 plus laps. Doran fastest lap 35.1. It's bringing that fastest lap point home to the Aston Martin team at the minute, which will keep them in the lead of the championship, I believe, based on the current result. Even when Billy G does pit into P4. Dom all over. Don is getting absolutely pressured by the Vicar at the minute. P4 is the Ferrari and championship leader at the minute, who will be lucky. I believe he may actually extend the championship lead if he can catch up to his teammate 6 seconds in the next 11 laps, and that is a nice and simple move for the Ferrari into P3. Possibly it's going to be an outside late break move. He's going to go flying off the circuit. He's going to keep it on the track there, and he's going to get the better exit over Dom, and it's actually a really good move by the Vicar, who, as Dom concedes the position, Dom picking up a 3-second time penalty to rub salt into the wound there. And you can see Billy G pop out there, and you can see Dom pop out, and into P2 again. Dom fighting straight back at the Vicar now. Billy G may fight straight back as well. The Vicar forced to the outside, maybe going for a switchback into the hairpin. He'll have to go for a bit of a dive bomb. May have it in him. Does he have it in him? He'll be up the inside. No, he's going to pull it out. Dom going a bit wide there though. Dom goes a bit wide. The Vicar goes a bit shallow through the corner. And Billy G actually nailing the corner all around. Moves himself up to P4 at the minute after the pit stop. And we'll see what he gets through now. The Vicar looking to push Dom straight to the edge, and he's going to have to get him past him quick, as Billy G is right there. And it may have to be a Billy G job through this part of the track as well, as the Vicar is right on the back of that Mercedes. Middle of the road for Dom. He's going to force him to the outside. He's going to force Billy G to the inside. We're going to have a 3 wide moment here, possibly into the hairpin. It's going to be a 2 wide moment for Billy G. And Dom and Billy G up the inside of the Vicar. There's contact between Dom and the Vicar. The Vicar gets pushed out wide. Dom going for the switchback, gets it done on the Ferrari and pulls in to P3 ahead of the Vicar. And Billy G with a double move there on both of them. Late breaker move, and he gets it done brilliantly on both of them. Dom coming to pressure back at him. Not enough speed down the straight though, and he's just going to have to sit possibly for another lap, but he may not have another lap as Billy G just raced away there. The Vicar is racing up the inside, and the Vicar is racing into P3. Dom is going to come back to the outside though. He's going to try and swing it around, and no, he's not going to get that move done. However, he will have the DRS down the absolutely massive straight that is into the hairpin. If he does actually keep it through the double left-hander, that is, of course. He will have the DRS on the Vicar. It'll be interesting to see if the Vicar does lose the position again. He may actually pull into Billy G's DRS for the next DRS zone down the start-finish straight. Dom back in DRS. And Dom will fall off the DRS over the next lap, and there we go. Just trying to keep that P4 now. He doesn't want to push too hard, get 2 more penalties, which will lose him the P4 in this race. Brass Monkey's picking up a penalty. The Vicar in P3. Billy G setting the fastest lap of the race. 4 seconds now from John in that Ferrari. You just see him going round turn 2 there. And you may be able to see Billy in the background there. He's just coming around that corner. And he's in sight is Billy G. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying Dom, John, similar names. Been saying a lot of names tonight. John is in sight for Billy. And you kind of get that extra motivation when you see the car in sight. You can see the gap going down. But when you see the car in sight and you see him just in front of you and you see him getting ever so close and closer and closer, it just feels even more rewarding and just spares you on a bit more. And Billy G will be definitely feeling that at the minute, coming round the long right, followed by the Vicar, who's still in with a shout for this win. If John does hold up Billy enough, who looks to be going at least a second faster that lap there. .4 seconds. It was a 4-second gap by the end of the last lap. That is nearly 2 seconds a lap faster there by Billy G, who will, I'm going to presume, will set the fastest lap of this race. And I will presume, right, a 33.969. He picks up the fastest lap and the fastest lap point, and may actually pick up the lead over the race in the next couple of laps and pick himself up an extra 2 points along with it. Billy G now within striking distance of the Ferrari. 1.5 seconds. He will be within that DRS window at the end of this lap. And if anyone is new, of course, to Formula 1, first of all, welcome. And DRS is the flap on the rear wing, which does open, gives them a good 20-ish kilometers an hour of extra speed over the car in front. If the car in front does not have DRS, of course, and it will improve the lap time and improve the position. But 90% of the time we may see it along and deployed right. Well, we'll see it deployed for short. Will we see it help him gain a position? We'll see. Just now into the hairpin at turn 15, and there's no move late on the brakes, a lot later on the brakes compared to John. Is Billy there? nothing just yet for him. He's going to slide out the final corner. That will compromise him through the corner there, and he could have had the move done and be away with it, but he's now going to sit behind that car for another lap. May get him into the hairpin actually if he does get the run. I may if that was me, I'd actually try and get through during the hairpin and avoid any complications later in the lap and just face the consequences for it, as I think my tyres are good enough to pull out over the Ferrari. We'll see now coming round the double left. He may just be slowing him right down for the Vicar. This could be excellent teamwork. It looks like the Vicar's pulled in nearly a second there straight away. And John going non-ERS there. And yeah, the Vicar is really pulling in now. This is smart play by the Ferrari. That could be a bit dangerous by John though. Looks like he stopped it on the racing line there nearly. But they all get it through cleanly. John Mobes is the new Checo. Yeah, that is great defence by him. Could have been a bit dodgy, but it was all clean, no contact. And I'm not going to be one to rule out a bit of defending, as someone who's done that myself quite a lot. In my time in SFR, I've done the exact same thing for my teammates, and that is really good by Johnny. He's just going to try and stay in the DRS and help his teammates along. And he's pulled in 3 seconds, has the Vicar. Great teamwork by the two Ferraris there. 6 laps to go in the Chinese GP. There's not long now for the Vicar to try and pull in and steal the race win from the Aston Martin. I've noticed there's not much time dropped through the middle sector, even on the much worn tyres for John Mobes and the dirty air, and we'll see him pull out of the dirty air, possibly pull his teammate back in. It's a 2-second gap for the lead for the Vicar, and maybe 2 seconds right on the dot there, just a bit under 2 seconds for the Vicar. As John pulls out of the DRS, he may not have it down the straight, just let his teammate go in the next couple corners and release him to try and fight for the win in the remaining 5 laps once they cross the line. It's a sprint now. They say it's a marathon, not a sprint. At the minute it is an absolute sprint to the finish line to see who will take the lead of the championship after this race. It may be the Vicar keeping it, or it may be Billy being a new championship leader this evening. And there we go, nice and easy Ferrari swap into turn 1, and that is that for those two. The Vicar once again absolutely rapid through the race. He may not have the greatest qualifyings in the world. He'll have a good qualifying now and again. He'll call me cheeky for that. No, he's a good qualifier, but an absolutely amazing driver in terms of racecraft. And case in point again tonight. We'll see how many positions he's gained. He started P5. It's another top 5 position, of course, for the start. However, it's just sometimes you want to be a bit higher in the field, but obviously you're not going to complain with a P5 and a P2 in the race, but he will be a lot happier with a P5 to a P1. And we'll see. 4 laps will be coming up now. There's the Vicar just pushing even harder now. He's gained don't think he's gained much there. We'll watch the gap as they cross the line, it'll be, and we'll measure it up to the next lap. 1.9 seconds now. It looks like it's actually increasing to the lead. It'll be a 1.96 as they cross the line. through turn one. It's just long and you want to get on the power, but you know you can't. The temptation's always going to be there. It's the same in the GT cars, it's the same in the F1 cars. Of course, the F1 cars are on a lot of downforce, you just want to go straight away, and you want to trust your car sometimes to just go for it, but you can't always. 3/10 through sector 1, straight off the bat, was the Vickers. Maybe Billy is running a bit more lower downforce than that Ferrari. Coming now, final couple corners in the sector, and we'll see what he can get done down through the ZRS. Not yet. 1.2. He's absolutely closing in. He's closing in absolutely rapidly. He's pulled in 7/10 this lap. He may actually set the fastest lap of the race at this point, and it is all up to Billy G now to defend for the remaining laps. 26, 27, 28, 3 laps to go in China. 1.2 seconds, 7/10 gain for the Vickers that lap. If he can keep that up, he will be well within his rights to win this race, and he may actually win it by over a second at that point if he keeps going 7/10 a lap faster. But as they always say, catching is one thing, overtaking's a completely different one. You may have the pace, but do you have the racecraft to overtake? Coming now through the middle sector, it's just so long, these corners. You want to get on the power. I've said it about 1,000,000 times in this race, but it's just the confidence. You need to build it up, and you want to just go for it. You want to just slam on the accelerator and go, but you can't. And it is, you just want to trust the car to carry it round. 1.1, it may not be enough for the Vickers. He's going to have to really push in the last 2 laps. What can he get on the Aston Martin? This is going to be a terrific finish between these two, heading through the stadium sector. Now the grandstand's like a stadium around you. 200,000 people in the entire area, at least 100,000 in this. In those 2 grandstands alone. And never mind all of those in there. That's even more people around the circuit as they head through turn 1 now. 2 laps to go, penultimate lap now for Billy G. He's just holding them just out enough. It's probably aching the Vickers, and he wants to go, he wants to get there, he wants to do it so hard, but he just cannot get there at the minute. If he can get into the DRS this lap, this could set us up with a side-by-side finish through into the hairpin, which you always love to see, a late break and move on the final lap for the race win. Don't see it very often, but you do see it. And coming round now, the long left, not long left, the long right, after the short left, double right-hander now. Long, just keeps it going, it's banked. You can use a bit of that to your advantage. He's going to use a lot of the slipstream now, and he's going to try and maximise his final lap now. The Vickers in P2, Billy G in P1, and coming round. Here we go. One more lap to go. 28 of 28. Over a second is the gap. The Vickers may not have enough at all, as there's yellow flags. That looks to be Doran through the final sector. Another race without a safety car for Division 4, just to mention that. Incredibly clean bunch of drivers throughout this race, constantly. The Vickers, maybe he's not going to have enough, I don't think, here through sector 1. He's going to have to really push his absolute maximum. Billy G. Here we go. Hairpin, sector 1. Just over a second. No DRS gap there. Just yet. I'm coming round. Turn 5, turn 6. And they just keep going and going and going, and you just want to see Vicker. He's going to use absolutely everything. Down the next 2 straight, he's in the DRS. He's not going to have enough at all to get this move done. This is Billy G's to lose now through the final 2 corners. It will be. And we'll see that Billy G has won 3 in a row in SFR. I don't want to jinx him just yet, as it's going to be a really close finish once again. Don't want to pick up a penalty here. He's got to win it. Just keep it slow through the final corner. 7.5 tenths. 9 tenths. 1 second is the gap. Out the final corner, it'll be Billy G, who will come home for 3 times in a row. He wins in China, followed by the Vicker in P2. He'll take the lead of the championship from the Vicker behind. And that was a tense finish for both parties involved. John Moe was in P3 there. Dom will come home in P4 and pick himself up a good haul of points for the Mercedes group. Alex Haig, P5. Really extremely well done there. And Dan coming home in P6, disconnecting mid-race for 4 or 5 laps, dropping to P12 and recovering up to P6. Great lap race for him. Doran P7 in the Aston Martin. No improvement on the qualifying position there for him. And it's Silver Fox in P8. P9 is going to be Dylan Vince in the VCARB. It's a glitch. You just want to move the drivers up 1 bit. And we know the result. It was Doran in P8, P7. Brass Monkeys is going to be P9 there, as Dan leaves the session as well. As it's going to be P10 for Redoubts, P12 for Night Creed, and Smooth Operator will come home to finish your race off in P13. Good race all around for a lot of drivers there tonight. Billy G once again taking the win. He actually doesn't get my driver of the day. It'll be Dan who gets my driver of the day, just for the circumstances he was under. Billy G was a close second there, and the Vicker, I'd actually say tie alongside Billy G for P2 and the driver of the day, in my opinion. However, great race all around for a lot of drivers. And Division 4, of course, still ongoing. Division 3 still ongoing here in China. They will be about midway through their race now. And that will be it for SFR Division 4 action tonight. I'd like to say thank you, of course, for joining once again, and we will be moving on next week. Away from China, we will be moving to Singapore, staying in Asia, in the East Asia region as well. On to Singapore's first street race of the season, the Scots, coming home for the 3rd win in a row, and will take the lead of the championship justifiably. Takes the lead of the championship over the man in second, the Vicker. And we'll run through that result one more time here. Right now, it was in P1, it was Billy G, followed by the Vicker. In P2, P3 was John Moe's, P4 was Dom, P5 was Alex Haig, P6 Dan, P7 Doran, P8 Silver Fox, P9 was Dylan Vince, P10 I'm not too sure, but thank you for watching once again. I will be here next week for Division 4, Division 2, of course, tomorrow. Make sure you're there for that. Division 1 on Wednesday, of course. And back starting the week at 7:30 will be me in Singapore. Thank you for watching, and we will see you